Okay, I just got this box today from Factory Mation. I basically found out about that company on practicalmachinist.com. I was searching for a way to somehow convert. I have a single phase 220 circuits in my garage, and so I was trying to figure out a way to convert that so that I can make a 3-phase motor work. And so this is what I got. Literally took maybe a day and a half to get here. Okay, so we got another box. Get out of there. Alright, it looks like they threw a catalog in there, which is cool. So I'm probably gonna wind up getting some more stuff from them. Alright, so opening up the box, looks like instruction book. Let's check that out real quick. So, operation manual. I'll have to actually read this one. Looks like something in French, maybe. And here is a external grounding terminal. I'll get to figure out what to do with that. Take the packing out. That's what it looks like. It says it's close to 5 pounds. Didn't really feel that heavy, but and that is it. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up in my shop. Like I said, I have 120 surface in there that I put in. I'm going to hook it up and get a 3-phase, have a big disc sander that I'm going to be using. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get all that hooked up and show how to do it, and go from there. All right, thanks. Okay, this is the Teco F50 Flux Master. Apparently, first thing I noticed right here is looks like there's a series of inputs where you could I think there's some different sensors and like an emergency stop button and stuff like that that you can add on to this thing. Here's a relay input, probably for starting or stopping something when this thing gets flipped on. I'm sure the manual explains what all this is. Here looks like your 2 hot leads for the 220. You got a neutral here. Not so sure about the P and the R, but these are your 3 phases. And looks like there's a fan down here. They show you in the manual how to install this without obstructing. There's a fan outlet up here. Basically, you're supposed to put it in a situation where it's got good capability for airflow and so on. So, like I said, I got this for a 3-phase tool that I have. Basically, it's an 18-inch sander, and I'm going to show some pictures of that here in a minute. But the motor on that is rated at 1.5 horsepower. I think it's rated for 5.2 amps. And so I got this, I sized it, basically went 25% up from what the 3-phase motor is rated at. This is for 2 horsepower, and it goes up to like 7.5 amps, I think. So the idea is that whatever that motor throws out, this thing will be able to deal with it. A lot of people get these and they use it for multiple devices or machines, but this is going to be dedicated to that machine. And in fact, I'm going to use some of the features too. You can control the speed and reverse it and do some other stuff. So I'm going to mount this directly onto the sander. I'm going to take away the existing magnetic button and basically put this on here. One of the things they tell you in the book is that this has to be installed in some kind of enclosure to keep the dust out of it. Like I said, there's a fan in here, and there needs to be airflow across those electronics for it to work right, and so I'll have to figure something out. Anyway, I'm gonna go out in the garage and show the tool that I'm going to be running and hook this thing up. All right. Okay, this is a sander I bought. Bought it on a surplus website. Actually, it's an auction website a couple days ago. I got a good deal on it. Nobody really was interested in it. I think I paid a little bit over 200 bucks. Brand new. These are fairly expensive. Matter of fact, I got a sleeve full of these sanding discs with probably, I don't know, 12 or 13. They're usually like 20, 30 bucks a piece. The only downside was this motor is set up for 3-phase, and I am in a residential area and there's no way I'm getting 3-phase in here. So like I said, this motor here is runs at 1.5 horsepower, 5.2 amps on 230 3-phase, or 2.6 on 460 volts. I considered getting a different motor for it. I have single-phase motors you could buy. I think the price I was looking at for a decent motor was somewhere around $250, $300. Yeah, anyway, I wanted to try this out. So I was, like I said, I was on Practical Machinist website the other day. I got some recommendations from some people on there, and basically they pointed me at this variable frequency drive that is going to tap into these circuits here and push the motor using 3-phase power. One of the things was I noticed there was all these leads coming out of here, and I was not sure how to even go about wiring this. I know that this one, you can see on this door here, was set up for 480 volts, which there's no way I'm gonna have that in my garage, obviously. Like I said, this motor could be set up for 230 as well, and the drive that I got, it's set up for 230, so I'm gonna have to rewire this from 460 volts to the 200 volt configuration. So or 230. So you can see here, this is how it's wired right now, and this is what I need to have on this side. So if you look, I was kind of looking at this, you see they got numbers on all these wires. So like this is number 5 and this is number 8. So I was able to verify by this diagram, looking at all these connections, that they have it wired up for the situation on the right. For example, 5 and 8 are wired together. And so I'm going to descramble that and make it look like this, and then the 3 phases will go into here. This is your line 1 in, or your T1, T2, and T3 on your box. And so anyway, yeah, I just wanted to also look inside of this because it was kind of weird. I've never really even seen anything like this before. But oops, hold on. Yeah, so basically the way they had it wired up is the power feeder comes in from here, and then it gets wired in up here at the top. This is a switch, on and off switch. If I push this back, you can see how it works. And so what happens is you dump that switch over, and boom, now it's energized, and it allows the current to go through these fuses, pretty good sized fuses. And then this is the thing that weirded me out. It's a control circuit transformer, and I sat there and trying to figure out if I needed to wire this somehow in with that drive. But what it does, from what I read, is so you have these lines come into here, and then you can see these split off here to this transformer. And so basically this is these are wired into these guys here, and what it does is it goes back into here and switches these on and off. And so basically I open this up, and there's like a 120 volt connection that goes to this button here. And then you got to start and a stop, and that basically sends a signal back to this guy and turns it on and off. So you can see right now it's off. And if it was energized and I push this button, I assume that there's some kind of relay in there that would flip that on, and then it would power these red, orange, and yellow lines, and then it would spit out the three-phase power that would then go through this feeder down here to the motor. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to disconnect these three. I'm going to plug them directly into the drive. Like I said, this goes into the motor. Before I do all that, obviously, I got to take care of this situation on this side. Got to rewire all this business, and then I have to have, yeah, so I got to rewire this first, and then I'm going to use this extension cord also in the drive. And so I'll plug this in for line 1 and line 2, and I got my neutral. And I have a 220 outlet right there that I'm going to plug her into, and hopefully I can make this demonstration work. Alright, so basically I got this wired up. I'm going to step back a little bit so you can see what this thing looks like. So what I did is I took that big box off, and I had a power switch right here, and I just kind of dry fit this and use this screw. What I'm going to do is put like some kind of plate up here, use the existing hole pattern to attach that plate to this. It's kind of got like a stanchion that's welded on, and then I'm going to establish this hole pattern in that plate and put this on top. Again, I'll have to build some kind of box around it, but these are the basic controls for this thing now. Before it had an on and off switch, and it just goes full throttle. I think part of the deal with that transformer that was in that box is that it helps to basically control the startup speed. So you don't have a huge spike at the beginning when you turn it on. This thing takes care of that. You can control the ramp up and ramp down, or you can let it freewheel after you turn it off. One of the things that's dangerous about these tools, especially if you have kids, is when you turn it off, it'll continue to spin. So if somebody doesn't hear the noise, they could come up, put their hand on it, and especially if it's a saw or something. Anyway, it's kind of a safety feature to be able to just hit off and then it spools down real quick. So just try not to make this video too long. Like I said, I went in here and rewired this to 220. Just basically follow that diagram. There's a wiring diagram inside of the manual. It showed, I'm going to try to get it down here, but basically this is your three, I don't know what they call it, X, Y, and Z, or I don't know, L1, L2, L3. So I kind of took that wiring diagram, figured out which one of these correspond to 1, 2, and 3, and installed those in there. It was kind of a guess, but it didn't really seem like it was a big deal. In the manual, they said if the thing runs backwards, you just got to take 2 of the wires and transpose them. Here I had that extension cord, which is plugged into the wall right now. I literally got this off of my joiner. I think it's set up for 15 amps, 220. And so there was a white, a black, and a green wire. Those are installed right here underneath that box. You can barely see. I got the white one, black and green right there, green being neutral. And you basically, one of the things you gotta be careful about is when you install those wires up in there, if they're frayed and you jam them in, I think there's a partition in between these screws, but still you gotta be careful that you don't accidentally make some kind of short or inadvertent contact with one of the other terminals. The manual did mention that it really doesn't matter whether you're L2 or screwed up. I think it just handles all that internally. So I was pretty impressed when I turned this thing on because, all right, so this is a 2 horsepower motor. Same as my dust collector. When I turn my dust collector on, I damn near have to put hearing protection on because it's so loud. I can't carry on a conversation when that motor is going on. But I'm going to turn this on for you, and you can hear So I have it set really low, and I'm just gonna spool it up. And I'm standing close to it, so it's difficult to really see what I'm doing, but you get a sense of how quiet it is. I'm thinking about maybe getting all my tools in 3-phase just because I'm getting these boxes. I'm gonna show you how it spools down. You can hear see it stops right away. Now that was like on really, really slow. If for some reason I had a reason to turn it that slow, I guess you could. Now I'm gonna turn it up to 60. You can hear it's really going. Starting to go now. It's a little louder, but still, for a machine like this, it's hardly any noise at all. I mean, I'm not having to talk over. It's pretty quiet. Let me see if I can get some material here. It seems like it's got plenty of power. I can hear it like slowing down a little bit. And I mean, I'm really pushing it in there hard right now. You can see those rings establishing. I mean, anyway, you get the point. So, yeah, alright, so I'm going to hit the kill switch now and see how fast it spins down. Like I said, it's kind of a safety feature. It shut up pretty quick. My fan turned off and it's getting blinky. So if I wanted to, set this at like 80% because I didn't want to spool it completely up, you could turn it on whatever you want. And then that's where it'll kind of pick up. So let's say I want to run it at 45. So it'll spin up. I think I'm rubbing some of here. So a lot of that noise is just from that rubbing on that thing right now. So I'm gonna turn it off, and then if I hit the button again, it goes right back to where you last had it set. So anyway, man, this is a pretty heavy-duty tool. It's old American steel. This thing's old as dirt. I got it from a site that made C-17 components. You can see this machine originally came from Long Beach for the Boeing company. Looks like they must have moved it in 2007. Georgia. It's Macon, Georgia. I bought it online actually. Yeah, so it's old American steel. You can see it's got really high quality cast iron. This is the 0 here. And so if you want to change the angle, you flip that back, loosen this knob. There is this little gauge here. Turn it. It's got really nice gear motions there. It goes all the way up to 40, which is ridiculous. I can't imagine doing anything. I'm going to send it back down to 0. I still need to clean it up a little bit, but and then it's got this, like I said, it's got the 0 back here. So you flip it up, and it's got this set screw that kind of go back a little bit, and it basically, if you maintain that position, then turn it, it'll bottom out when you get back to wherever you set it. Here's the up and down controls. For this table here, I'm turning it right now. You can see it's going up. That's as high as it goes right there. And you can lock the lock this guy back here. I have to mess around with all this to get it hooked up, but and then I think I'm gonna bolt it to the floor. It's a little bit top heavy. You can see that thing in the back, I believe, needs to get bolted. maybe to a wall. I don't know. I'll have to look online and see if there's a way to, some clear way on how to get it set up. So like I said, this is really the way I have these wires here exposed. It's not safe. Like I said, I'm going to build an enclosure and then wire all this in so that conduit is protected. And I think I'm going to put a box with a circuit breaker exposed so that if something goes down, I can have a hard switch. Even though it says, I didn't think about this a little bit, but I think they say not to put any kind of like kill switch or something, like a manual kill switch, because this it's all handled electronically. They do want a circuit breaker. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm definitely going to enjoy using this sander. And thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, and you could like the video if you like it. And be watching out. I'm going to do some more reviews sooner or later. I might do another review of this once I figure out how the functions work. Basically, I can go through all that stuff and kind of explain what its capabilities are. For this specific machine, it's pretty much going to be an on or off situation. I don't see myself running any kind of programs or sensors or anything like that, but it's nice to know. One of the main reasons I got this is an experiment. I plan on getting a Bridgeport mill and some other big machines, and so I wanted to test it out on something that's reasonably easy to get rid of if I can't get it to work. But it was super easy putting this together, putting it on. I don't know about the durability. One thing I forgot is that there's this ground wire goes in right here. There was a couple more terminals, and I'm still not sure exactly what they are, but yeah, like I said, the wiring was really easy on this thing. All right, that's all I got. Thanks. Bye.